I actually
such a good
Wait.
like I have. Okay,
We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Actually,
that's all I want to talk about. This is a waste of time.
today we're gonna have 2 topics of the week.
Ooh, I wonder what they are.
So for our very first topic of the week, I say,
Hit it, Chris.
hit it, Brant.
Switch, miss. We're in the switch of the time of our life.
Thank you. That was very beautiful. It was great. It got
Had
everybody
no
pumped
clue.
up. They're like, "This is
Oh, I
great."
just can't wait for the switch.
You can't do that anymore, man.
You don't have to wait, man.
Oh,
It's here.
it's out.
Switch
It's
is
here. Okay, guys. This little device right
In my
here.
hand.
What I figured we would do today is kind of talk about the hardware, because those who are listening to this, watching on YouTube, you may notice, hey, this is up a little late. But I wanted to give us time, because normally we record on Friday nights, right? But I want to give us time to have some hands-on time with this system. Kind of, try out the different control schemes, try different games, get a whole weekend in with it to really give a good, kind of, not really a review, but, give our early thoughts on the system. First off, before we even start talking about specs and controllers and all that stuff, are you happy with your Switch? Are you happy with the purchase? I guess I'll start with Brant, because Brant, you were the one who said no. And then you're like, Chris, I need your pre-order now.
Yeah, that was a pretty drastic change. Yeah, I couldn't be happier with the purchase. I'm glad you guys convinced me. I'm glad Bobby, which I recorded an episode, If We Ran Nintendo with Bobby, which you can check out,
Awesome.
which we glowed about the Switch. But yeah, he gave me that push over the edge with Zelda, and man, it has to be the best launch title.
Stop. We're not there yet.
We'll get there. We'll head into
but I'm
that,
just saying
right.
that helps a lot with this system. If it didn't have that, then we'd have Bomberman 1-2 Switch.
Right.
But yeah,
That-
but yeah, I couldn't be happier with it. The kids love it. Eli wants to play it all the time too. It's just the perfect system for anyone, really.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Chris, before we get into different ways we play it, what do you think about the system as a whole? Because you bought 3, man. Actually, you bought 4 because one went to Brant. So you must is it living up to your expectations? Is it?
Yes. Yes. I did not
And he
give away
charged him
a $300
a fee,
console.
like a 20%
That's
fee,
right.
right?
Right.
For
I just
late adopter.
So it's funny. Like my story with the Switch, started from a very distant place and slowly kind of ramping up to where my hype was completely just palpable. I mean, you walked into a room and it just you just felt Switch. That's just the way.
You're just like you waking up in cold sweats. You're like Switch.
My wife was literally like
Freaking out.
she was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. How much longer is this going to be? I'm like, just 2 more weeks. It's going to be
too much.
But with that being said, I try not to look at things with rose-colored glasses, and there are some glaring problems that I have with the hardware, with the service, with just Nintendo as a whole. But that being said, the machine absolutely lives up to the hype. Like I absolutely love it. I think it's gorgeous. It's perfect. I mean, the machine is exactly what I wanted from a hardware perspective. It's great. So there are some things, and we can jump in and talk about a few if we get there. But I am overwhelmingly positive on it, and I want to buy another one. I don't have enough hands.
They're portable, right?
Yeah. I don't have to dispose them after I'm done playing them.
Once the battery dies, you open up the trash can, drop it in.
Yeah.
You're like, gotta go buy another one.
Yeah. So no, I absolutely love it. I
Awesome.
absolutely love it.
Yeah, and I am so happy with it. Like this thing is great, and it looks so sleek sitting up next to my TV. Like it's so small, and this thing is like
I can't believe IGN docked their review because of how it
couldn't lay on its
sits
side.
on.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
this thing is so small. Like and this thing is more powerful than the Wii U, right? I mean, this thing is just it's crazy, and I love it. I absolutely adore this thing. It is great, but what I will say, I can see my reflection in your camera. Nice.
Nice.
I mean, that's
you can't see it in the iPhone.
basically the size of my phone.
That's
It's
crazy.
just-
It's
crazy.
It looks great.
It looks beautiful. It's super sharp. And I know Brant and I both got the gray. Chris, you got gray and neon, so you got both, which is really cool.
Yeah, I love. Look at the neon, man. Look at
Sharp.
I love it.
Now I will say, I wanted to get all red Joy-Cons on mine. But actually, let's hop into control schemes real quick, because I talked about how great this thing looks, how sharp it is and how beautiful it is, but it just stays in its dock. I mean, I really 2 times have I taken this out of the dock and played it, because
that's really funny
the way I play, I just keep it sat in the dock on my big, nice, 50-inch 4K TV with my Pro controller, right? And I sit on my couch. There it is, right there, the Pro controller. And I love it. So from the way you guys are talking, before we talk about controllers, just, quick answer. You guys both play it handheld pretty much exclusively, right?
I played once on the TV for like 2 hours on Zelda, and I just it doesn't have one of those cords that hook into my sound bar, so I don't get that. My TV sounds like crap just running through it. So I have these headphones, but nothing wireless, which is a con of this thing. You can't connect Bluetooth headphones, which that sucks. But yeah, I've just been playing on handheld mode most of the tabletop at church. I brought this to church, people. Not during the service.
I brought mine today too.
Yeah, it was hilarious because I showed there were like maybe 20 plus kids just huddled around. I didn't even know that they knew about this. Yeah, and then I had it in the handheld. I put it on the kickstand and show them. Yeah, I mean, they were just amazed as me.
Now, did the pastor, because this was in the middle of the sermon, right? Did the pastor stand up and like point fingers at you and?
So let me say this. It was great. Because we're recording this on Sunday. 2 days after launch. I walk into to church today and I'm holding this just kind of out as I walk up, like I normally do. And a friend of mine, Matt, across the way, he kind of hollers over and I look over and he's like. He has the exact same case that I have, and I hold mine up, and I'm like, yeah. and so we just sit around talking about Zelda. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Awesome. Now,
feel the love.
I guess let's talk about control schemes, because there's multiple ways you can play this. You guys talked about tabletop mode, right? So I mean, you can play it in handheld mode with the Joy-Cons attached to the side, right? You can pop out the little kickstand on the back. And set it down and play it in tabletop mode, or you can play it on the TV. Yes. And when you play on the TV, because I mean, when you're playing in tabletop mode, you can play the Pro controller, the Joy-Con grip, or the Joy-Cons by themselves. Well, pretty much you can do that anyway, really, except for handheld mode, obviously. But I spent time with Zelda with all control schemes. I tried it with everything. And I just keep going back to that Pro controller. Like, it feels so good in the hands. I will say the Pro controller, the sticks are about half the height of like 360 Xbox One controller. So the sticks are a little bit shorter, which kind of got some, had to get used to that. But overall, I love it. It's so good. Yeah, you can't really tell in that. Like, it just feels shorter. It's hard to explain because maybe it's because I was playing so much Mirror's Edge before I hopped into Zelda.
No, they are a little bit shorter.
It just feels shorter. But I love the Pro controller. To me, using the grip is fine.
A little shorter,
but the grip is so light. Like, it feels so light. Like, there's no weight to it, and just. I don't know. I like the Pro controller. That's my favorite way to play because I'm playing on TV anyway.
I absolutely hate the grip.
Okay.
I hate this. Is useless. This is garbage.
So are you playing with the Joy-Cons?
Is the charge grip the same thing basically?
No. So my syncing charge grip didn't come in. They got delayed. So I'm actually getting it Wednesday. So
you got to cancel it. You're still going to get it.
No, I'm still going to get
Okay.
it because the kids will play, and I'm not going to buy pro controllers for everybody, at least not yet. So yes,
Well, you got 3 Switches, so you need 4 Pro Controllers per
It's
system.
not
So.
crap. It's totally fine to play with that.
So we
by
got
the way.
so I will say that I have played like 99% of the time in handheld mode. I absolutely hate tabletop mode. That's completely useless. I don't like the concept is oh, what if you're somewhere where you don't have a TV? Just place it down on the table. What? No, just hold it. It's the exact same thing. Like, why would you put it on a table? It's a
Maybe
waste of
other
time.
people, like I said, I was at church. I put it down on the table, and everybody could be around.
Yeah,
Also,
I don't really like people though.
If it's a multiplayer game, though, each get 1 Joy-Con, so you have to sit it
No,
down.
I agree. So I agree, and that's the one thing I haven't played a lot of multiplayer stuff. So I think the only time I would ever even think about tabletop mode would be in a multiplayer situation.
Sure.
I plugged it up on my TV and I played about 5 minutes of Zelda, and then I was like, absolutely, I think it looks horrible on the TV, and so
It's so pretty on the TV.
I pulled it off.
Watercolor
on the TV.
looks great.
I put off the other thing is, so I play on monitors, on 24-inch LED monitors, and they don't have built-in speakers.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So I have absolutely no audio because if the machine is docked, I can't use headphones.
You can use headphones.
Can you when it's docked?
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I had my headphone. I was like really close to the TV, so I couldn't do it.
Oh, that'll actually work then. So I guess I thought I tried it and I didn't. I wasn't hearing anything, but maybe I just maybe I didn't have it turned up or something.
Anything we say, Chris.
Yeah, that's probably true too. But no, I mean I have basically like the reason I wanted this console was to play in handheld mode, and it completely delivers. I played it everywhere, and that's the only thing I want to do.
Cool.
So I have a TV right in front of me, and as soon as we get done, I'm going to take my Switch over to the bed, and I'm going to sit in the. Last night I sat in this chair, looking at this screen with my Switch in my hand,
playing.
I have a 24-inch LED, and I swear that I was sitting right here playing Zelda in my chair. So that's just how I want to play, man. That's
probably my favorite way to play too, though.
That's the way I am.
Agree.
Now,
that's the way I am.
Now, Brant, you were saying you actually enjoy the grip. I mean, you still play it in handheld mode, right? Now, have you tried?
I don't have the money for a pro controller yet, but I can see how it would be better for Zelda. I like an experience like that. If they released like a Dark Souls like game or massive or something hardcore,
sure,
I'm just gonna have to break down.
Hardcore.
Let's you live hardcore. No, but you're gonna need. I'm gonna need a pro
Switch
controller.
was real hardcore.
Yes,
it was. I like a hardcore experience. I will need to buckle down and buy a controller sometime, but for now it's perfectly fine. Doesn't bother me. So
cool. Well, let me ask, what do you think about the split D-pad on that?
Yeah, it's not. I can see how that could be a problem, but when I run into that down the road, like if I'm going to buy Shovel Knight probably soon, so I'll see how that is using it. But it doesn't really. I don't think it'll be a problem. I could be wrong.
So I think I talked about this in the like this was probably the one thing I was worried about when they announced the Joy-Cons with the split D-pad, and I instantly had no problem with it at all. I played Shovel Knight, and I was worried that because it didn't feel like a D-pad that I was gonna miss it and it wasn't gonna feel. And I've played Shovel Knight so far entirely using the split D-pad, and it feels perfect. No problem whatsoever. I love it. It's great.
Okay, well there you go.
Awesome.
And worry about.
And I do agree with what you're saying, Brandon, about the Pro Controller, about getting it once you need it. Because like my Wii U, I played everything on my Wii U, no problem. But then when I got Ninja Gaiden and I got Bayonetta and I got those fast games, I had a controller. You just have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, the reason I got it was because I am planning on doing some Let's Plays, hopefully starting this week. And so obviously it will be docked at that time because I'll have to play through the computer. And so I will want to play with a Pro Controller while I'm doing that. But I not kidding around. I I just enjoy playing. That screen is gorgeous,
Mm-hmm.
and
it's
it
wondrous.
fits right in my hand, and I will sit right here in this chair with 2 monitors in front of me, and I will play on in handheld mode for an hour tonight before I go to bed. It's just perfect.
Cool. I guess real quick, what about the UI? I mean, it's very clean. The only thing I'm thinking about the UI that may become an issue once you have more than 3 or 4 games, because I mean, all it is just like one long list of games,
It's
left to right,
PlayStations.
right, and 2 or 3 games is fine because it just moves the newest game, most recent game to the front, no problem. For me though, once I start getting more games, especially wanting to get a bigger SD card and download a lot of stuff, I want folders. Folders would be great because then I can have just here's my indie folders, here's my mainline titles, just I can break it down that way. But for right now, what it is, I think a good clean interface is good for early adopters. People that haven't played Nintendo in a while and they're used to something clean. It's a lot better than Wii U.
Yeah, let me ask: are you with a light or dark theme?
Dark.
Yeah,
Hero dark.
Yeah, I went dark too.
I had the light one on there, but I'm like, it's too bright. It's just too white, so I switched to dark.
Yeah.
You can turn down the brightness, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have my auto brightness on, and it hasn't. I think it stays around 50%. It's fine. I will say that the most important thing for the UI, which I think they absolutely nailed, is that it's quick.
Mm-hmm.
Snappy.
The biggest issue I had with Wii U was everything just felt like it took forever. And even 3DS, like even going to the eShop, like something as simple as going to the eShop on the Switch is really, really quick. And it felt like it would take like 2 minutes on the 3DS to get to the dang eShop. And it's like, I don't even want to buy a game anymore. This is ridiculous. And I know that sounds trivial, but when you're sitting there looking at a screen and like nothing's happening, it's just like loading screens like that there's nothing more frustrating than that. So I think the one thing they needed to nail was that it was a better like operating system, and I think that it's super crisp and super fast, and I do like that.
Awesome. And Brant, what about you, man? Anything else to add about the UI, the interface?
No, I agree with Chris. They'll add what they need to with folders at a later date.
It'll come. We'll get themes and folders and crap. They're probably sell
very
badges
right now, which is understandable. But it's right now. It's way, way better than the Wii or the Wii U.
Yes.
Yeah,
leaps and bounds. So good start there with the UI.
Awesome. Yep, okay, just kind of tie this whole thing up real quick. I guess a couple of concerns. We've hit concerns that we have with the system. Brant, I guess we'll start with you, man, because I know Chris has a lot. So, Brant, do you have any concerns with the system as of right now?
I know. Well, Virtual Console will come. The lack of Bluetooth headphones really bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's something that they might add on. They should add on later. There's something else I can't think of it right now, but I'm sure Chris will gladly throw that out there. It's not perfect, but it's just we're early adopters, so this is how every new console is, and it'll grow. And I'm not too worried about it, really. Cool. I like what's there.
Awesome. Now for myself, I'm with you, Brandon. I think it's a great start. It's a much better start than like with Wii U and all that stuff. Because I mean, it's great. It's simple. No real complaints. The only real issue I'm having with mine, I know some people complain about left Joy-Con issues, things like that. I haven't had any of that. It's all working great. My only concern for myself, I don't know about you guys, but if you tried to check the internet speed on your Switch itself, because when I do like network tests on my Xbox, it tells me I'm getting like 60 down, like 10 up, all that stuff, no problem. My Switch, whenever I run tests on it, doesn't matter if I hardwire it or if I do, because I have a USB hardwire LAN adapter, so I use that, or wireless. Either way, it's I'm getting like between 8 and 10 down and like 4 or 5 up. Like, I don't know. I have no idea why. It's the only device in my house that's getting terrible internet speed.
Yeah,
and
that's
I have
how my
no idea
Vita
why.
is too. It gets terrible. I don't know if it's just a handheld thing. I don't know how your 3DS is, but
Yeah, so I just thought that's the only real concern I have. I thought that was kind of strange because I know when I downloaded like Fast RMX, it's not really a big game. It's less than a gig, but it took forever to download.
Wow.
Yeah, Snipper Clips
So my internet speed, it's terrible internet speed. I don't know why.
And
we get great internet on everything else in the house. Even my phone shows like 70 down, like 10 or 12 up, and like the Switch is just terrible.
Look, to be honest, I haven't even checked it before. Can you see what mine says? You can't.
It's really blurry. Nope.
It's blurry.
Nope.
I
What to
can't
say,
read
sir?
it.
So yeah, you can't. So I have 26.3 down, and 7.9 up.
And you got really good internet too.
I did a speed test right before we started to make sure that my speed was good.
Yeah.
I'm pulling 245 down.
Yeah.
And 18 up. So this is giving me 23.
I have no idea why. So I thought that's the only concern I have is that the internet,
weird.
because I'll talk about this in my review, later in the week. But when I play Fast RMX online, it works fine. But every once in a while, there'll be like a car that'll be like next to me, and it'll just start going. It'll be like jittering, and then he'll just like appear in front of me, and I'm like,
especially with Mario Kart coming out, they got to get that crap fixed.
So I don't know if it's the Switch itself, if it's maybe I've got an old router. I have, but even yours, even when I hardwire it, it's still coming in slow.
And
so
another thing I was worried about, the friend code thing, which that's a pain to have to add those, but it isn't as bad. This is my first time dealing with it. It isn't as bad as I thought it would be. Like, everybody's handing out their friend codes and I'm adding them. So then they're there. So it's not really as much of a problem as I think most people make it, but still it's an inconvenience that you just can't look people up.
Sure.
Okay, Chris, we're ready for your waterfalls complaints. Hit us.
So I do have a Google sheet.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
guys, come back about 20 minutes.
I'm not gonna go.
Although we only have about 5 minutes to wrap this up, but we'll let him go.
I'm not gonna go through that. I will give you maybe top 3 issues.
Okay.
So number 1, the only one that really matters, was the only thing that I said they had to get right, and they absolutely did not.
Yeah,
that is game saves. So in a nutshell, once again, your game saves to the internal memory. You cannot put it on the memory card at all. There's no way to copy it over. And it is locked to that system, whatever system that you're playing on. Now, the problem with, and again, this is even for the cartridge games that you buy. So I went out and I actually picked up Legend of Zelda physical. The reason I did this was because at the time, I picked it up, I pre-ordered it. And the reason I did this, because at the time, I assumed it would be like 3DS, where I could save it to the card. And that way, if I'm going to play on the living room Switch or whatever the case is, I would just be able to take that card and it would be on there. But if you buy a card, you still do not get a save on that card. It still saves internally to your Switch console, period. Now, this is problematic for a number of reasons. Josh, for instance, he only has one Switch between his family. Right, Josh?
Right.
You only got one.
It's nice you can say the profiles for each game. Like, Eli's playing Legend of Zelda 2, and he can switch. That's another positive. But
until he accidentally erases your save file.
And that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm going to say. So what happens if Eli accidentally picks your profile because maybe he wasn't paying attention? And if you don't have it set to require a password, it doesn't require a password. So now he's loading into your Zelda game, and all of a sudden he's going to start, throwing all of your inventory off of the freaking mountain.
He's not that incompetent.
I'm just saying, like, or if you think of something, something else, like let's say that you saved. Here's a real example. Let's say that you save on Pokemon right before you're about to battle Mewtwo, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to come back to this battle later, and then he decides to play. And
here's
then
the thing, though.
Mewtwo runs, and you're like, oh, crap, I'm never going to get against that again.
He isn't going to be allowed to play it while it's docked. I told him he cannot take it out because it's another issue. There have been reports of the screen getting scratched.
Oh, right, for docking.
I said you cannot, because I'm as delicate. I'm like handling this like a 16th century Chinese vase, putting this in. Like
I'm not at all. Like I was
waiting to hear what you were coming back. I was gonna say a baby. Is he gonna say something like?
I'm just saying for now, just don't take it up vase. And now. I don't know. my mind thinks different. But like I said, for now, he isn't going to remove it from the dock until we get a screen protector because I don't want to take that risk. Chris, he's throwing switches all over the.
He juggles them for fun. He's like, I
just, yeah. I mean, it's fine. So let's get back on topic. So this is a problem. This is a problem for a number of reasons. But I just went through this whole thing, and you guys actually watched my evolution, even on the show, where I was completely irate when I found out that I was going to lose 90 hours of Animal Crossing because my Nintendo 3DS died.
Almost actually went away from Nintendo.
I was on the brink, and to be honest, if I hadn't have invested so much in that machine, I may have just walked away. But I have so much invested in, so I did end up getting a 3DS, but I started all over, and it was it still hits me. The other day, about I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, a guy that I work with, Steven, who actually listens to the show. So hey, Steven, So Steven, he's like, oh, let's play Mario Kart. I'm like, oh, I'm the king of Mario Kart. It's gonna be great. So we start playing Mario Kart, and I load it up, and I realize I have no cups unlocked. I have no carts unlocked. I have just the what is it, like 8 racers that you start with. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't. Like, I had every cart unlocked and every racer unlocked and every cup unlocked, and I was like, it's all gone. Yeah, and I was so mad.
And Steven's like, hey, Chris, where are you going? And you just go in the corner and you put your head down and you start crying.
Yeah. and so we played, and I joked around with him. So I ended up playing Mario with just like a regular cart because that's all I had. And he beat me. And he beat me by like the last race. He came in first, and I got hit with a shell and came in third. And he rubbed it in my face.
The shell,
he wrote it on the whiteboard. And I'm like, dang it! Wait till I get my sub cart back. We're gonna talk. But like, I have no, so just stuff like that. So now we're in the same way. So what happens? So I sent you guys a video where I had to do a hard restart on my Switch on day one.
Right. I had to do one too. Not on day one, but this weekend, my Zelda locked up and I had to hard reset.
Okay. So we were and it was just the home menu, and I have this little video. I may just put it up on Twitter just so you guys can see it. I mean, it's nothing special. It's just like it was completely unresponsive, so I had to hold down the power button for whatever, like 10 seconds or whatever.
12 seconds.
And it powers off. That's fine. But now what's going to happen when I put 80 hours into Zelda and then my screen freezes up? Like,
3DS all over again.
I am going to lose my mind. And if something was to happen to that console, Nintendo tells me, you're out of luck, bud. There's nothing we can do. And that's actually Mario.
You're out of luck. Come on.
We don't know about cloud saves yet.
No.
They can still have it.
And they still can. So when I was talking about this on Twitter a little bit, and some a couple people tweeted back out at me, Joey and Sean, and we were going back and forth. But they talked about that other the other services have cloud saves, and it's tied to their Gold or their PlayStation Plus accounts, right? Sure. So that's fine. That may be there. It's not there now. So I am playing Zelda now. If something happens before Nintendo decides to implement whatever they're going to implement, what happens to my game save? Sure. I understand that life happens, but the fact that we are in 2017 and Nintendo did not have the foresight to think better about this after knowing everything that I went through is mind-boggling to me, and it infuriates me when I even think about it.
But at Nintendo, when they have their list of things we have to accomplish for the Switch, they probably don't have "Make Chris Happy" on their
No, it's not. But it's not even that. It's just like
Chris White was mad before. We got to make sure we fix it. Miyamoto's like, oh no.
At this point, Nintendo has to understand how far behind they are out of the game, and if they want to start being taken serious as an actual console manufacturer, not a child's toy, they have to start thinking. And that's what they did. They put adults in their commercials, and they made an amazing piece of hardware that looks like something Apple or Samsung would make. Like, it looks good, it feels good, it's solid, and then you launch, and with the same stupid issues that are like, oh, we're sorry if if
Sure,
our hardware
sure.
fails and you lose everything that you had. Sorry about that.
Mhm,
Like
right.
that's not okay. We don't live in an age where that's okay. And it's not
Yeah.
about making me happy. It's about protecting you. It's about protecting your consumer. We are buying the product in the hope that we're going to actually have a quality,
Right,
experience,
right.
and that's not what we're having.
Right. Now, I will say I forget which site did it. They did a drop test on the system. They dropped it. They wanted to see how many times they could drop it on concrete before it would actually stop working. And pretty much all Nintendo products, except for the ones Chris buy, are normally pretty durable. They were able to drop this thing 11 times, face down, like they hit every angle on the system from different heights. They dropped it 11 times before it actually stopped working. So, and that's on solid concrete. So, I mean, for something this thin and this flimsy looking, I mean, it held up really well. But okay,
yeah,
Chris,
my 3DS is in perfectly working condition,
Sure.
So it had nothing to do with the hardware. I'm just
Right.
saying this is a problem, and Nintendo has had 6-7 years to fix it. I mean, Microsoft offered cloud saves early in the life cycle of the 360,
right?
And now we're almost to their third console from the 360.
I bet they're
and
waiting
still doesn't do it
for the subscription service because you can only get that through
exactly.
the PS3.
Right, a lot of your saves for like things like Miitomo and Fire Emblem and, to my understanding, Super Mario Run, I believe they do have cloud save because they say if you load to another device, it'll work. But okay, Chris, we're way over time on this topic, but you said you had other complaints. You want to hit any more, like just real rapid fire other issues?
No, that's the big one. That's fine.
Okay, you sure? Nothing else?
No, I'm probably gonna do a show, an off show about
Chris show.
The Chris Show starring Chris. Chris. And his face goes boot like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Oh, I'm so tired. Wow.
Okay. And with that, we will cap off that topic.
But we love it.
We love it. And yes, it is absolutely awesome. And the great thing about the system, we all play different ways. Like I said, I love it on the TV. Chris is playing 100% handheld. Brant is jumping between handheld and tabletop. So, I mean, it's great. There's so many options to play, which is awesome. So we hope you have your Switch. We hope you are enjoying it. We hope you enjoyed this content from the life of gaming. If you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe down below. You can also catch our weekly podcast every Sunday on iTunes, SoundCloud, and the Google Play Store. You can find us on Twitter @LifeGamingPod and on Facebook. Until next time, we are out.